Hello everyone, I am Wang Jigang, the founder of the TFStents and Pretents. In 1993, when I was 16 years old, I had just graduated from middle school. I started working at a South Korean-owned tent company in Qingdao called Banpo. This was a factory that did ODM original design manufacturing for top global outdoor brands. Many international brands collaborated with them, but unfortunately in 2013 the company ceased production and closed down, and that's where my story begins. My first job at Banpo was learning the production process, often poles, for tents. Tent poles are as crucial as bones are to the human body. My work was the cutting and assembly of poles. Surprisingly, my very first job left a profound impression on me. Perhaps it was the moment that bound me to tents for life. 3 years later, I was transferred to the sewing workshop, but I only stayed there for 3 months before being transferred to the cutting department. In those years, I learned all the production processes of tents, including identifying each type of fabric, webbing, and all the components. My supervisor in the cutting department was Mr. Choi Young-ji. After working in China for many years, he decided to return to Korea to take care of his mother. He recommended me to the core department of our company and the lab. On his last day in China, he specifically came to the door of our cutting workshop, called me over, and hugged me. Since then, whenever I visited Korea, I tried to visit Choi Young-ji, but unfortunately, I couldn't find his contact information despite many attempts through friends. When I started working in the lab, the work wasn't easy. My teacher, Mr. Choi Junsuk, didn't directly teach me design. Instead, he had me clean the lab for 3 months. It was very monotonous. After 3 months, he asked me, "Do you like design?" I said I wanted to give it a try. When I designed for the first time, I worked excitedly until late at night to finish the prototype. A few days later, when I completed the final product and presented it, I was astonished. I realized that designing a great tent was far more complicated than I had imagined. From then on, Mr. Choi began to teach me the theories and techniques of design, starting from the year 2000. While working in the lab, I had the opportunity to meet the founders and designers of many international brands, such as Mr. DeWitz, the founder of the German brand Woods, his professional managers Martinus and Peter. Mr. Luo Fromdak, the Andy couple from Exped, Bengt, the founder of Tentapai, and many others. I remember Mr. DeWitz would lie on the carpet and measure the inner and outer tent dimensions with great precision. When the president Ofogaweva visited, he used the sleeve of his shirt to wipe the floor, just to check if the workshop was as clean as he expected. These small details made a lasting impression on me and were extremely beneficial. Most of these people were not only designers but also outdoor enthusiasts. From them, I learned not only design concepts but also their understanding of the outdoors, their brand philosophies, and even their outdoor spirits. For example, the designer from Vango, a brand from Scotland, described to me the experience of camping in Northern Europe. The sense of freedom and tranquility was something I deeply yearned for. It was at that moment that I first experienced camping. My first camping trip was on a mountain ridge, where I witnessed both the sunrise and sunset. The solitude yet beautiful feeling made me fall in love with this peacefulness. I worked in the design lab for about 6 years, during which I gradually took over the management of the entire design and development department. At the same time, I began to work independently, designing and developing for various brands. During my 17 years at Banpo, we designed tents for over 70 global brands. However, I began to feel lost. Despite participating in many creations, I felt like I had no real presence. I wanted people to know my name through tents, more regrettably. At that time, many people believed that China didn't have any truly high-quality tent brands. So I often wondered, why can't I create a high-end professional outdoor brand from China? In 2010, Andy from Exped reached out to me, asking if we could design a tent with poles that extended from the top. At the time, my teacher, Mr. Choi Junsuk, thought it couldn't be done due to the issue of the support points, but I considered it carefully and insisted that we could solve the issue with an additional component. I told Andy I needed some time to finish the task. A month later, when Andy returned from the south to Qingdao, he was extremely excited to see the finished tent. He gave me an enthusiastic hug and said, "So beautiful. "This is a great design." He even joked, saying, "This tent doesn't have a name. Why don't we call it Jigang?" At that moment I couldn't calm down. I felt that my mission at Banpo had been completed. In December 2010, I resigned from the company where I had worked for 17 years. In March 2011, just 4 months later, I found a warehouse in Daxin Town, Jimo, Qingdao. The place was Khalid Chenjikan. It was there that I created my own brand, the Free Spirits.